Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson, my co-host Aurelio Martinez. You know, this past weekend, actually last night, we had several good fight cards from different vantage points around the country. Aurelio, I'm going to start off, and I know that, we've got some, we'll get to them. But let me just start off with some that were very interesting. First of all, thank you to Colette Thomas for hooking me up with this link to the fight card down there in El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Where we had a veteran Josecito Lopez taking on the undefeated Miguel Cruz, and another fight under the undercard, I guess you call it the co-main, where we had undefeated Jorge Lara taking on Jorge from Mexico, Miguel Cruz from Mexico, and then Claudio Marrera, who was from the Dominican.
Okay.
Claudio Marrera, now, fans have to look at this fight. You got to go check it out. It's definitely a candidate for knockout of the year. 30 seconds into the fight, Marrero hits Jorge Lara with a left hand, straight on the button, dropped him. He did everything he could to get to his feet. Mm-hmm. He actually got to his feet, but he was done. The referee waved him off. And when the referee waved him off and let him go, he actually slid down the ropes and went down again. I mean, it was a devastating punch. I mean, hey, if you're always going to go, that's the way you want it to go. A guy that really just put it on you. And we don't have very many Dominican fighters that take the point like that, but that was a great fight. But let's talk about, like I said, Josecito just for a second. We won't dwell on it too long, but this was a TGB Promotions, Tom Brown down there in El Paso. And on the undercard, he had Erickson Lubin, Anthony Durrell. Actually, one that I would have liked to seen on Premier Boxing. It was really a good undercard, really good fight card altogether. The next one we want to move to is that we went from there. We went to, where did we go to?
Magdaleno?
We had Jesse Magdaleno and Isaac Dogbo from Ghana, okay? And that fight card was up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Dogbo pulled off. Dogbo's undefeated, and Jesse was undefeated.
Yes.
And I know you got a chance to see that fight.
Yeah, and I was surprised.
I think everyone was.
I was really surprised because, I figured Jesse was going to win this fight. Jesse's becoming a name. Magdaleno's coming a name to be reckoned with. And I'll tell you, I was surprised. I believe it's the 11th round, and he got stopped.
He dropped him twice.
He got stopped, and so there's no ifs, ands, or buts. He got stopped. So it's wow. It's kind of a heartbreaker when you're moving up the line and you. I don't know if you sleep someone or if he just slipped or what, but bottom line is he got beat. So now what does he do? Now he has a setback. How much of a setback, we don't know. We'll have to see how he does in his return fight.
Well, you got to give credit to both these guys because, they were having a Twitter beef that was going back and forth. And to their credit, afterwards, they both, apologized to everyone. They both apologized, saying that it was out of character for them. They got caught up in the mix, but... class acts, both of them. At the end, Jesse gave Isaac his due. Yes. He did say he'd like to have a rematch before he moves up in weight. He'd like to move up to 126. He said that. Yeah. And that'd probably be a good move for him because he had mentioned before that Aurelio that making weight was a little tough for him. But like I said last night, he didn't make that as an excuse. He just made that as fact. Yeah. That making weight was, but he would like to rematch and then move up. So we look forward to that. But really a good fight. Then we move on to the Barclays Center. Up there in Brooklyn, New York, where we had Daniel Jacobs in the main event taking on Maciej Sulecki. I know they were last night. They were saying even what's his name? Jim Lampley made a point to say his name was Sulecki or something, and he said I didn't like it when he said we've got the correct pronunciation of his name. Yes. We don't just throw stuff out there, And I thought. We've heard you throw stuff out there before, but anyway.
Well, he was proud. He was proud.
Yeah. But let's first talk about, there's two fights on that undercard that were of major importance. I think the first one, it's important as far as women's boxing. And we've been the harshest critic on them because they're critical of themselves. But Ireland's Katie Taylor, for the fans who hadn't got a chance to see her, we know her well because she fought her own, Colorado's own Carrie Berry, years ago as amateurs. Katie Taylor is the real deal, Aurelio.
Right.
She's now the WBA and IBF female lightweight champion. She took on Victoria Bustos I think Bustos was from, if I'm not mistaken, I think she was from Brazil, I think. Not sure exactly, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, but Katie put it on her.
Okay.
And Katie's one, for women. We won't look much in that. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller taking on Johan Da Pupas. Let me say something.
Big
Now,
baby.
wait, no, what's his name? Duhaupas. It took Deontay Wilder a while to get him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let me just say this. The HBO analyst team of Jim Lampley, Roy Jones, and what's your boy, the third one? You don't care for him too much.
Bubble Eyes, Bart Simpson.
I think it was David. But anyway, man, sometimes you really do have to turn down the volume on their analysts.
Okay.
They were cheering so hard for Big Baby that it was actually bordered on ridiculous.
The only thing I want to say about that is Big Baby. I was actually proud to see him go 12 rounds. He's 300 pounds plus,
right.
And the plus is a big plus. Okay, so
about 50 plus.
He said he likes cheeseburgers and stuff like that, but he was a big boy, and he managed to go 12 strong rounds, and won the fight. So,
but what about what he said after the fight, Lel?
Yeah. Well, he called out Deontay, and that's
money. He called out Joshua.
Joshua, that's right.
What's wrong with him? I had to say that out loud. I said, "What's wrong with him?"
Anyway, we'll follow Big Baby because actually he got his little time on TV on the limelight.
Yeah.
People know who he is, and I'm gonna tell you what if he can fight a little bit, he'll be entertaining. If he can mix it up, he'll be a 12-round version of a Butterbean. Okay, Butterbean didn't lose. Okay,
let me tell you something. Let me just say this, and we'll move on.
We got to move on.
Big Baby, as soon as he fights somebody that's got a punch, he's done. Okay. Now, next, the main event. Let's go to Daniel Jacobs and Maciej Sulecki. Like I said, we have to his name pronunciation of his name, but I have to say I was a little bit surprised, and maybe it was. Maybe expectation, I expect Daniel I was expecting him to go blast this guy out. This guy's from Poland, and man, he came ready to fight.
Oh, he did.
And I thought that once again, here we go with now. Last week we had Julie Letter, and now we got her dad, Harold, that came in with some nonsense. I remember the comment he said after 5 rounds, he had Daniel Jacobs up 5 to 1.
Okay, we'll talk about them after. Let's give them the
credit. We got to talk about the whole thing.
We'll talk about the fight because we're running out of time, and the commentating. You're right. That's baloney stuff. Okay, we'll talk about that if we have time. But before the fight, Daniel Jacobs went in there, and I think he went in there thinking he was going to have an easy fight, and I honestly think he did. And he found out very quick in the first round that the Polish guy came in and he was ready to fight. Because that first round, he put it on Daniel Jacobs.
Yes, he did. And the second round, too.
He came in strong. If he had any kind of punch, well, I shouldn't say that because he may have a punch because Daniel Jacobs can take a shot. He took them triple G shots, okay? So we know that. But bottom line is this guy came to fight. He went in there. He fought very well in the first round, second round.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jacobs had to get his groove going. He started to get it going toward the middle rounds. And started to make contact with his combinations in the hook and pretty. But bottom line is, I don't know if you agree. It was a very good fight. It was a good fight.
It was a great fight.
It was a good fight. It was closer than people think. I also thought Jacobs. Won the fight, but if you listen to the commentators,
that's all I'm saying.
Roy Jones, I don't know what he was talking about.
You know what it is, man. He's a shill for HBO, and it's terrible. I mean, it's got to stop.
I mean, he just came in and he was talking about, the guy maybe has 1 round or something. It was ridiculous. But you're right. The commentating, it's got to stop. I mean, it's HBO and Showtime. They got to tell their commentators, listen, stop judging the fights and commentate on the fight. Commentate on the action and let the judging up to the judges. Okay, so
I agree.
It was stupid, but all in all, it was a good fight.
It was a great fight.
I think friendly
fight. I mean, like you said, I think what made it really a great fight was the fact that I think almost all of us, if you're a boxing fan at all and you know anything about Daniel Jacobs and his his story. You know, his story is awesome in itself. But the way this looked like, he's going to go in here and he's going to put on a show.
Yeah.
He wasn't able. He put on a show, but not the way he wanted to. I mean, this boy, you got to give. I'm gonna call him Sulecki because it's easy to say. Sulecki was more than worthy opponent.
Yeah.
Stepped up to the plate. It was a good fight.
He was, and I'll tell you what, that was his first defeat.
Yes.
So he'll be around for a while.
He's somebody that has to be reckoned with.
He'll be around, and we'll see who calls his name next. So
I bet you Kid Chocolate won't call his name. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, that's the end of our first segment. We'll be back in a minute. We'll go to our second segment where we will talk a little bit about next week's upcoming fights or fights that are of interest. Of course, we're going to talk about Triple G and Blanes Petrosian that are going to fight next week.
Cecilia
Breakus.
Breakus.
Yes, that's, you know, I've been a fan of hers for a while.
Yeah.
Not only for her boxing abilities. But anyway, we'll be back in a couple of minutes and we'll pick up where we left off. In the meantime, as with every episode of Inside Boxing,